leadoff here for Kansas City is Johnny Damon. He's only batting 127 with no homers and 4 RBIs. This is Dave Stewart's third start of the year. He's 1-1 with a 2.08 ERA. And the pitch to Johnny. That's going to be a base on ball. So Damon walks on down to first. Leadoff batter aboard here for Kansas City. And we're going to do a little hit and run. Wilson's batting .268 with no homers and 3 RBIs. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. And Damon's off and running. And that'll be a 3. And that'll be a 55. 55 or lower. He's going to make it. And he barely. And Lump is down there. And Tejada's down there jumping around. They say the tag was put on him, but the ump ain't changing the mind. Damon's got a stolen base. So Johnny's down at second with nobody out. And the 0-1 pitch to Mr. Wilson. And here's the 0-1 pitch to Wilson. And that's going to be a right-hander at 20. That's going to be a hit down the short. And he's going to look the runner back to second. Tejada is. And throw over to first. And that'll be out number 1. So now there's 1 down, the runner at second. And George Brett comes to the plate. Batting .276 with 3 homers and 11 RBIs. And that ball is high. That ball is far. And that ball is out of here, folks. Kiss it goodbye. George Brett with a 2-run shot. His 4th homer of the year gives the Kansas City Royals a 2-0 lead. And Cardible's batting .296 with a homer and 2 RBIs. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Tejada. He fires over to Giambi, and now there's 2 down. And Big John Mayberry comes to the plate batting .148 with a homer and 7 RBIs. And that's going to be a base on balls. And the walks is hurting. Already one of them's come in to roost. Now you got a runner down at first, and Darryl Porter to the plate. He is struggling, folks. He is 2 for 24. He does have one of those hits was a homer, and of course a 1 RBI. Batting .083 on the year. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Jose. That'll end the inning, but the 2-run homer by George Brett. Kansas City 2, Oakland coming to the plate with Henderson, Tejada, and Giambi. And, excuse me, Ricky only batting .167 on the year. No homers and 1 RBI. This is ZACK GREINKE's 4th start of the year. He's leading the American League with a 0.75 ERA. He's 2-1. Here's the pitch to Ricky. And you can see, sorry about that, you can see Kansas City is 10-6. They've struck out 103 batters. They walked 34, giving up 25 doubles and 6 triples. And Oakland's 5-9. They've struck out 118 batters. They've walked 55, giving up 27 doubles and 3 triples. And now the pitch to Ricky. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Zach strikes him out. There's 1 down here in the first. And Miguel Tejada comes to the plate. And Miguel's struggling. He is batting .067. He's 3 for 45. No homers and no RBI. And that's going to be a Baltimore chopper. 8. And that's going to be fielded nicely by Darryl. He comes out of from behind the plate, grabs the ball, throws it down to Mayberry, and there's quickly 2 outs. And Jason Giambi's at the plate, batting .261. And he's tied with the lead with 6 homers in the American League with 12 RBIs. And that's going to be a rare play. 33 and a 37. And a 33 and a 37. That's going to be hit out to left field. Johnny Damon's out there. A 51 and a 3. Still might be fielding column 1. And it is. And that's a nice catch out there by Damon to end the inning. The A's go down in order. We go to the top of the second. It's 2-0 Kansas City. You got Merrifield due up, followed by Escobar and Zach. Bottom third of the order. Due up here in the second. And up to the plate now steps Merrifield. He's batting 185 with a homer and 2 RBIs. And that ball is well hit. Where is it going to end up at? Dave Stewart struggling here early. And that ball is driven into right field. Canseco does a good job, gets over quickly, cuts it off. And Merrifield takes a big turn, but he'll return back to first with nobody out. So Canseco does a good job holding to a single. Now you got Escobar up. He's batting .095. He is struggling, folks. He is 2 for 21. No homers and no RBI. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Stewart strikes him out. Stewart's first strikeout of the game to go with his 2 walks. Now Zack's up. And GREINKE's batting 143. Says we don't need no stinking DH. No homers and no RBIs. They're going to put the bunt sign on here. You can move the runner over, and that's a nice bunt. That is bunted down right back to the mound. Stewart's up with it. Only plays over to first with Lumpy covering. The runner will get in scoring position. There's 2 outs now. We're back to the top of the order, and Johnny Damon. He walked, stole second, and came around to score on the George Brett homer. So here's the pitch to Johnny. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Reggie. That'll end the inning. They strand Merrifield at second. We go to the bottom of the second. You got Jackson. Canseco and Bando due up. See, Kansas City's got one more game here in Oakland. And then they travel up the coast to take on Seattle for 3 games. Then they finally head home and Texas comes to town. And Reggie, he's off to a slow start, batting 132, 4 homers and 5 RBIs. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Big John. He calls off Zach, takes it himself, and there's 1 down here in the second. And Canseco comes to the plate. He's doing well at the beginning of the year here, batting 320 with 3 homers and 8 RBIs. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Zach strikes him out. There's 2 down. And Sal Bando's up. Nobody on, 2 outs in a 2-0 game. Sal batting 194, no homers and 4 RBIs. And that's going to be a ground ball down the short. And Escobar is going to boot this one, folks. That's going to be an E6. That keeps the inning alive here. And can Jerry Yankee take advantage of this extra out? Trailing by 2, tying run at the plate. Jerry batting 238, no homers and 2 RBIs. Here's the pitch to Jerry. And that's going to be another ground ball down the short. Can Escobar field this one cleanly? That is the question. And yes, he does. He comes up with it. Only plays over to first, but that'll end the inning. So the error goes nowhere. And the A's strand 1 to the top of the third we go. Kansas City leading 2-0. Got the 2-3-4 hitters due up here. Wilson, Brett, and Tartable. And Willie, he's 0 for 1 today. And that's going to be a ground ball down the Bando. He fires over to Giambi, and there's 1 down. And Mr. Brett had that 2-run homer back in the first, 1 for 1. Here's the pitch to George. And that's going to be a base on balls. Dave don't want nothing to do with George now. George is down at first with a 1-out walk. And Danny Tartable, he grounded out his first time up. 0 for 1 on the day. And that's going to be a well-hit ball. So the walks is dealing Dave Stewart in, folks. He's already walked 3. Where's this one going to land at? That's going to be a double down the third base line. And with only one out, I don't think Brett's going to make it home here on this double. Henderson has an average arm, not great. That ball's not hit that deep. Do they want to chance it here? Who's up after Tartable? Mayberry's up. Big John's up. And they're going to hold him. The big boys are coming up, so they're going to hold him. So Brett's going to stop at second. We've got second and third. We're going to bring the infield in. Force them to bring the infield in. They're already down by 2. Don't want to go down any further. Big John walked his first time up. So here's the pitch to Big John. And that is going to be against the righty, a 16. And that's going to be a fly ball out to center field. 53 and a 2. I think that's going to be fielding column 3. And it is. And that's going to be a re-roll of dice here. 5. That's going to be a 63, and Brett, I think, is going to score with no throw. So Brett scores with no throw. The question is, can Tartable get down the second here? Get down the third. And the 26, they're going to send him. So no throw at the plate, but they're going to try to get Tartable out at third. He's going to try tagging up here, making it down the third. And that'll be a 30. No, not a 30. Let's see here. It's a 26. And that'll be a 52 or lower. 52 or lower. Danny makes it down the third. And he's in there. So the sacrifice works. Both runners advance. And you got a runner at third. 2 outs. And Kansas City is now up 3-0. And up to the plate now is Darryl Porter. Can he increase this lead even more? Got a runner down at third. 2 outs. Porter's 0 for 1 today. Flew out to right. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Tejada. And that's going to end the inning. But another run scores, and it's 3-0 Kansas City. We head to the bottom of the third. We got the bottom part of the order due up here. Steinbach, Stewart, and Henderson. And Terry, he's batting .206 on the year with a homer and 7 RBIs. And here's the pitch to third. That's going to be a swing and a miss. He strikes Steinbach out. And there's 1 down. His third strikeout of the game. And Dave Stewart's up. He's looking for his first hit of the year. He's 0 for 3. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Zach back-to-back strikeouts. He's starting to look like the Linda Ronstadt, folks. He's throwing blue bayous. And now Ricky's up, and he was a strikeout victim his first time up. And that's going to be a ground ball down the Merrifield, and that'll end the inning. 1, 2, 3 goes the A's. To the top of the fourth we go. And speaking of Merrifield, he's going to lead it off here for Kansas City, followed by Escobar and Zach. Bottom third of the order due up. Merrifield, he singled his first time up. He's 1 for 1. And he gets a hold of this one. Again, see where he drives it. Last time, Canseco was able to cut it off and hold him to a single. And that's exactly what happens. Again, Canseco playing a nice right field out there. Merrifield thinks he's getting doubles. Jose's getting to it quickly down that line, cuts it off and fires it in. And with nobody out, Merrifield's not trying to chance it here. And brings up Escobar. He struck out his first time up against Stewart. 1-on, nobody out, and a 3-0 game. That's going to be hit down the second. And they'll get the lead runner. And Escobar's fast enough to beat the throw down the first. So that's a 4-6 put out. Now Escobar's down at first. And he may take off here. And he's going to take off, try to steal. That'll be a 61 or lower. He's safe. And he's in there with a stolen base. He's still second. Now you got a runner in scoring position and ZACK. Does he put the bunt sign on? Does he try to drive him in? I think ZACK's gonna. He says we don't need no stinking DH. He's in scoring position. Let me hit, and that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna let him swing away here, folks. He's batting 143 on the year. He had a sacrifice bunt his first time up, and that's gonna be a fly ball out the left field, and a 54 and a 3. And that's fielding column number 1. Out the left field. And he's going to stay put at second. So that's a fly ball. Now there's 2 outs. Still at second for Johnny Damon. Johnny is 0 for 1. He's walked in this game, stole a base and came around to score. He flew out his last time up as Philip Reynolds joins us here. Check out his great channel, folks. And that's going to be against the righty. That'll be a 18. That's going to be a single in the left field. And with 2 outs, can Escobar score here? That'll be a 47. 29 plus a 17. So he'll score with no throw. Johnny delivers an RBI single. And just like that, folks, it's 4-0. Stewart is getting nickeled and dimed here. 4-0 Kansas City. A runner down at first. And 2 outs. And Johnny says he's taking off again. That'll be a 29. He's going to try to steal another base here. 55 or lower. They thought he had him the last time, but not even close this time. Johnny's down at second with another stolen base. He's in scoring position now for Wilson. And Mr. Wilson, he is 0 for 2. He's grounded out twice. And that's going to be a ground ball. Excuse me, down a third. Actually, that's a swing and a miss. Stewart strikes him out. And that'll end the inning. But 1 more run scores on the Johnny Damon single. And it's 4-0 Kansas City. And the A's better start getting something going here. They got the top of the order due up. They got Tejada, Giambi, and Jackson, the 2, 3, 4 hitters against ZACK. ZACK is pitching a hell of a game. Tejada's 0 for 1. Rounded out his first time up. And that's going to be a fly ball out to right field. And Tardible calls for it. Makes the catch for out number 1. And Giambi's up now. Jason is 0 for 1. Flew out the left his first time up. And that's going to be another fly ball. This one is out to center field. Willie Wilson on his horse makes the catch. And there's quickly 2 outs. 2 nice plays out there in the outfield. And it's up to Reggie Jackson to get a 2-out rally started here. He's 0 for 1, grounding out to Mayberry his first time up. And that's going to be a fly ball out to right field. 44 and a 3. Should be fielding column 1. And it is. And a nice play out there by Johnny Damon. He goes in the hole. Dives. Takes a hit away from Jackson. A tip of the cap by ZACK. And we are out of the 4th inning. And it's 4-0 KC. You got Brett, Tardible, and Mayberry due up. George is 1 for 1 with a 2-run homer. He walked his last time up and came around to score. Here's the pitch to Brett. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Henderson. He's near the track, makes the catch for out number 1. Dan Tardible grabs a bat and comes to the plate. He's 1 for 2. He doubled his last time up. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Stewart strikes him out. That's Dave's 3rd strikeout of the game. 2 up and 2 down. Can he get through this 5th inning with nobody scoring? Mayberry is walked and had a sacrifice fly last time up. Here's the pitch to Big John, and that's going to be a ground ball down to Jerry. And finally, Stewart gets a 1-2-3 inning. The bottom of the 5th we go. Maybe that'll spark the A's to do something at the plate. You got Canseco, Bando, and Lumpy due up. Jose struck out his first time up. And that's going to be against the righty. That is going to be a fly ball. Wilson goes running back. Stretches, makes the catch over his shoulder. Catches, Canseco's out of there. Thought he had at least a double. But Wilson runs it down with that speed. And there's 1 out. Sal is the only base runner of the game so far for the A's. He reached on an error his first time up. And that's going to be a rare play, a 39 and a 22. That's a 16. And that is hit down the 3rd. Reroll some dice. That's down there. 53 and a 5. And that's going to be fielding column. And that's the first hit of the game as Brett can't get to it. He dives. That ball gets by George and in the left field. And that's the first hit. And the only batter to be aboard in this game for the A's is Sal Bando. He's been on base both times. He gets the first hit. Breaks up the no-hitter. Now you got a runner down at first. And Jerry's up. Grounded out the shortest first time up. Can the A's try to get back in this game? And that ball is well hit by Jerry. Where this goes, that ball is driven into the gap in right field and trailing by 4. Bando's going to stop at 3rd. So now we got 2nd and 3rd and 1 out. And Terry Steinbach's up. Terry struck out his first time up. Can he deliver here and get these A's back in the game? He's 0 for 1. Here's the pitch to Terry. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Big strikeout by Zach. Now there's 2 outs. And you got to think about pitch hitting here for Stewart. And that's what they're going to do. They're going to pitch hit for Dave. He goes 5 innings, gives up 5 hits and 4 runs. You got to try to make something happen here. See who's going to come off the bench. It's Matt Olson. Matt Olson's going to come off the bench here. Trying to deliver the lefties coming off the bench. 2nd and 3rd, 2 outs, trailing by 4. Can Matt deliver here, folks? And Matt, he is 0 for 4 on the year. No homers and no RBIs. Can he get at least an RBI here, folks? Here's the pitch to Matt. And that's going to be a base on balls. So now the bases are full of A's. And Ricky Henderson, he says he's now the greatest. Just ask him, is at the plate. The bases full of A's everywhere you look. Bando down at 3rd. Lumpy at 2nd, Olson at 1st, and Henderson at the plate. Ricky's 0 for 2, 1 swing of the bat, and the A's are back in it here. And no, Pat is going to be a infield back. 61 and an 8. That should be fielding column 3, I would think. Yes, and that's going to be a ground ball down the short. Escobar fires over to 1st. And that'll end the inning. The A's lead the bases loaded. It's still 4-0. Kansas City. See who's going to come out here and pitch for the A's. And Raleigh Fingers is going to come out here and try to eat up some innings here. So Fingers is coming out of the bullpen. Raleigh Fingers will come out of the pen here in the 6th inning. And this is Finger's 8th appearance. He has no record with a 2.79 ERA. He'll be facing Porter, Merrifield, and Escobar. Darrell's 0 for 2 today. And here's the pitch from Raleigh. And he gets a hold of this one, folks. Let's see where this is going to land at. And that's going to be a single in the right field. Canseco's playing a mean right field. These balls are dropping in, but he's cutting them off, not letting them get by him. Holding these guys to singles. That'll be a runner down at first. Nobody out. Merrifield's up. He is a perfect 2 for 2 today. Can he keep it up? And that's going to be 2 balls and no strikes on him. Here's the 2-0 pitch. And that's going to come back. Raleigh Fingers comes back after falling behind 0-2 and strikes him out. Big strikeout by Fingers. And now you got Escobar up. He's 0 for 2. He reached on a fielder's choice, stole second, and came around to score his last time up. And that one's well hit. Escobar tags this one. Where's this one going to land? And that ball is driven into right field. And again, let's see, I might be hit in the left field. Yeah, that ball is hit in the left field, and Porter will stop at second. Henderson gets over quickly with his speed. Keeps him to a single. Now ZACK's up. Already up 4-0. They're going to let him swing away. They're not putting the bunt sign down. A's think they might bunt, but Kansas City says, you know what, we're up 4-0, go for it. And here's the pitch to ZACK. And that's going to be a ground ball down the second. That's a line drive right at Lumpy. He makes the catch. The runners get back. No double play, but that was hit hard. ZACK almost had himself a single. Nice play down there by Jerry. Now there's 2 outs. Johnny Damon's up. He's 1 for 2. He's walked, driven in a run, came around to score, and has stolen 2 bases. He singled and drove in that run his last time up. That's going to be a fly ball out to Reggie in center field, and that'll do it. Raleigh gets out of the mess with nobody scoring. We go to the bottom of the 6th. It's still 4-0 Kansas City. You got the 2, 3, 4 hitters due up here. A's better start making some hay here with the heart of the lineup up. Tejada, Giambi, and Jackson. Tejada is 0 for 2 today. And that's going to be 0 for 3 as ZACK gets his 6th strikeout of the game. And up to the plate now is Jason Giambi. He's 0 for 2. He's flown out the left and center. And that's going to be a base on balls. And the A's will take it. They need base runners. Reginald Martinez Jackson's at the plate. Reggie is 0 for 2. Grounded out and flown out. Here's the pitch to Reggie. That's going to be against the righty. 15. And that's going to be a single. And that's back-to-back base hits here for the A's. And all of a sudden, they're making some noise here in a 4-0 game. Okay, Canseco can make this a 1-run game. There is 1 out, runners at first and second. ZACK's got a shutout. They're going to let him out there. And Canseco is 0 for 2. He is struck out and flown out to center. And that's going to be 2 balls and no strikes on Canseco. Can he take advantage of the 2-0 pitch and get the A's back in the game? And that's going to be against the righty. That'll be a 20. That's going to be a ground ball down the second. 64. And that's a line drive. And the runner's a hold. Nice play by Merrifield down there. Now there's 2 outs. Again, Canseco hit it on the button, but they hadn't played perfectly. So it's up to Sal Bando. He's been on base both times. He has 1 of the 3 hits. He reached on an error his first time up, singled his last time. Can Sal deliver here? Runners at first and second, trailing 4-0. The pitch to Sal. And not this time, folks. They finally get him out without reaching base. And that's going to be a 44 and an 8. Probably fielding column 2. Yes, it is. And that's going to be a ground ball down the short. And he'll throw over to first. And that'll end the inning. The A's strand 2. To the top of the 7th we go. You got the 2, 3, 4 hitters due up. Wilson, Brett, and Tartable. Fingers out there for his second inning. And Wilson is 0 for 2. Sorry, 0 for 3. Grounded out twice and struck out. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Jason. He takes it himself, and there's one down. And Mr. George Brett's up. He's 1 for 2 with a 2-run homer. And that's going to be a ground ball down the Tejada. Quickly 2 outs here for Fingers. And Danny Tartable comes to the plate. And Danny is batting 1 for 3 with a double. Struck out his last time up, though. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Henderson. 1, 2, 3 goes the Kansas City Royals. We make it to the 7th inning stretch in a 4-0 ball game. Got the bottom third due up here. Lumpy, Steinbeck, and a pitch hitter for Fingers. And Jerry's 1 for 2 with a double in this game. And that's going to be a ground ball down the Merrifield. He fields it cleanly. 1 out, 1 down. Terry Steinbach comes up. And Terry's 0 for 2. He has struck out both times against ZACK. And this time he finally puts wood to the ball. Drives it in the left field. But Damon has him played perfectly for out number 2. That'll be it for Raleigh Fingers. He does his job. Keeps it a 4-0 game. Let's see who's going to come off the bench here. And let's see, they need a base runner. They don't have a lefty on there. Who do they want? Who did they want? Who do they want? Rudy. Rudy's coming off the bench. Try to get on here. They need base runners. Trailing by 4, 2 outs, nobody on. Here in the bottom of the 7th. And Joe Rudy's coming off the bench. Can Rudy get something going here? Rudy is 0 for 5 on the year. Here's the pitch to Rudy. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Johnny Damon. And that'll end the bottom of the 7th. 1, 2, 3 goes the A's to the top of the 8th in a 4-0 ball game. See who's going to come out here and pitch. We got the 2 lefties due up in Merrifield. So Knowles is coming out of the dugout, out of the bullpen. So Knowles will try to get these lefties out. This is Knowles' 5th appearance. No record with a 9.45 ERA. And Merrifield will stay in the game mainly for defensive purposes here. So they're not going to pitch hit for him. And John is 0 for 1. He did walk in this game, had a sacrifice fly, 1 RBI. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. And Knowles strikes out his first batter for out number 1. And the same thing, Darrell's going to stay in the game because of his defense. Darrell's 1 for 3, singled his last time up. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Canseco. He makes the catch, and there's quickly 2 down. And do we want a pitch hit here for Merrifield? That is the question. And Frank White is going to pitch hit for him, mainly to come in for defensive purposes. Well, you know what? We're going to let Merrifield bat. We'll let Merrifield bat and then bring in White for defense. So Merrifield will bat. He's going to take the bat out of his hand. We're not going to do that. We'll let Merrifield bat and then bring in White for defense. Merrifield is 2 for 3. He has singled twice, struck out his last time up there. And that's going to be an infield hit. So the genius pays off managing here as Merrifield gets on with his third single of the game. And we're going to do the same thing here with Escobar. We're going to let him bat and take him out for defensive purposes. Escobar is 1 for 3. He has a stolen base and came around the score. He singled his last time up. And that's going to be a ground ball down the second. And Lumpy's going to go the short way over to second. And that'll be a 4-6 put out. And that'll end the inning. And what do we want to do here? Zach's pitching a shutout. Zach is pitching a shutout. So we're going to let him in the game. We could do a double switch. Could do a double switch. We wanted to bring Washington in the game to play short. But we're pitching a shutout. I don't know. Don't know. What do we do here? Do we do the double switch? I think we are. We're going to do the double switch. Even though he's pitching a shutout, Zach's going to come out of the game. Washington's going to come in. White's going to come in. And Jeff Montgomery's going to come in and pitch. So Merrifield and Escobar's coming out of the game. Washington, and we're going to have 3 players coming in the game. So Zach's not too happy with me, but that's what we're going to do. We're going to go shore up the defense. We got one hell of a bullpen. We're going to use it. So first Montgomery's going to come in, and he'll bat in the 8th spot. And then we're going to bring Washington in. He's going to bat in the 9th spot. And White's going to come in and bat in the 7th spot. And we're good to go. So we got a new shortstop, a new pitcher, and a new second baseman. So UL's playing short. White's at second. UL will be batting in the 9th spot. He'll lead it off to top of the 9th. And Jeff Montgomery's coming on. And as you can see, Oakland's got this game here against Kansas City. Then the Twins come to town. Then Oakland goes on the road to take on Baltimore in Charm City. And Montgomery's going to be facing the top of the order, Henderson, Tejada, and Giambi. Montgomery, this is his 6th appearance. He's got 1 win, 1 save with a 1.04 ERA. And here's the pitch to Ricky. And Ricky gets a hold of this one, folks. Drives that ball in the right field. And you can see the face on Zach in the dugout. Not too happy with that. Now you got Ricky down at second, nobody out, and Tejada up. Tejada is 0 for 3. He is grounded out, flown out, and struck out. Here's the pitch to Tejada, and that's going to be a 23. It's going to be a 45 and a 9. Just brought White in for his defense. That'll be fielding column 1. And a runner will get down the third. White makes the play, fires over to first, but Ricky's down 90 feet away. And they're going to play back. They'll give up the run. 4 and out, up by 4. And Jason Giambi's 0 for 2. He did walk his last time up. And that's going to be a infield. That'll be an 8, 9, 14, 23, 31, 35. And that'll be fielding column 1. 41. Line drive right at third. Ricky Henderson dives back. Brett puts the tag on him, folks. And that is a 5-5 double play. Double play. So a line drive down there, and they double up Ricky at third. Line drive, double play. Unbelievable. And that's it. The runner gets erased on the double play. We go to the top of the 9th. You got Washington due up, followed by Damon, and then Wilson. And UL came in on the double switch. He's batting .229 on the year, no homers and no RBIs. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Canseco for out number 1. 1 up and 1 down. Back to the top of the order and Johnny Damon. And Johnny's 1 for 3. He's walked, driven in a run, came around the score, and has stolen 2 bases. And that's going to be a base on balls. So Damon's down at first as he tried to steal his third base of the game. Excuse me. And he is. He's going to try to steal base number 3 here, folks. He's going to try to turn it on. That'll be a 5, a 27. And that'll be a 53 or lower, right? That'll be a -5. Yep. 53 or lower. And he's in there with his third stolen base of the game. Johnny Damon showing off the wheels today. So Damon's down at second. 1 out for Wilson. He's 0 for 4. He has grounded out 3 times and struck out. And that's going to be against the lefty. It'll be a 21 and a 9. That's going to be 51 and a 1. It'll be grounded back to the mound. He'll fire over to first. Damon will get down to third, but now there's 2 outs. And George Brett is up now with a runner 90 feet away. George is 1 for 3 with a 2-run homer in the game. And he's done it again, folks. Let's see where this one goes against the lefty. That ball is high. That ball is far. Forget about it, folks. George Brett has just hit his 2nd homer of the game. Makes it a 6-0 ball game. Now, 2 outs and nobody. And that is his 5th homer of the year. And now you got Tartable up. Nobody on. He's 1 for 4 with a double. Here's the pitch from Knowles. And that's going to be back-to-back, I think. Let's look here. That is a 25. Nope, that ball is off the wall. Out there in deep left field. Off the wall for a double. And Tartable just missed a homer, folks. Didn't quite turn on it enough. He's standing down at second. Knowles kept it out of the sweet spot, but that was hard hit. Now John Mayberry's up. He's 0 for 2. He has a sacrifice fly in this game. Struck out his last time up. And that's going to be a base on balls. Now you got first and second. All this happening with 2 outs, folks. Knowles can't get out of this 9th inning. He's trailing by 6 now. First real blowout. These games have been close between these two teams. Darrell is 0 for 4. He has flown out the right, flown out the right twice, grounded out, and singled in this game. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Tejada. And he'll go to short way to second. And that'll end the inning, folks. But 2 runs score, and we go to the bottom of the 9th. It's a 6-0 lead. You got the 4, 5, 6 hitters due up. The A's got a lot of work to do. Montgomery's on the mound for his 2nd inning. And Reggie, he is 1 for 3. He singled his last time up. And that's going to be a pop-up down the short for out number 1. 1 up and 1 down here in the 9th. Canseco comes up to the plate. He's 0 for 3, struck out, flew out, and lined out hard to second his last time up. And that's going to be a 24 and a 10. And that's going to be a pop-up down the second. So 2 pop-ups in the inning, 2 outs. And the A's are down to their last out, and it's Sal Bando. Sal is 1 for 3. He's reached on an error, singled, and grounded out. And that's going to be a comebacker. Montgomery's up with it, takes his time, fires over the Mayberry. And that's your ball game, folks. And Kansas City wins in 6